Australian Biorefining, as we originally were, transformed into ABR Process Development because we kept getting asked, were we making biodiesel? We're actually a chemical process development company. We first pitched here about 5 years ago, and we had a market cap of about $2 million. Since then, we've expanded our IP. We've got a well-protected suite of intellectual property, several patents, several fairly strong patents. We've just signed a heads of agreement with a large chemical company to use our technology in hydrochloric acid recovery. We're looking at a public listing strategy at the moment, and when I say we're looking, we're into due diligence on a reverse takeover mechanism, and we've actually generated revenue through both sales into the US and our services in Melbourne. Our technology, very briefly, is focused on a circular economy. So we don't want to be a waste treater. We don't want to be a Sims metal that simply recovers easily recyclables. We want to see the whole circular economy, and we're looking at the hard stuff. So we have technology that can take... Is this a pointer, Rick? That can take stuff like waste acid from galvanising and turn it into clean water, clean acid, and recovered solids. So we can actually valorise and eliminate waste, not zero discharge, zero liquid discharge, but true zero waste. So the applications are mining, heavy industry. We're looking at the hazardous waste, the difficult stuff that has a big cost, but we see it as a big value. Our current operations, we've established a factory in Melbourne that is providing waste recovery services and consulting services. We've got initial revenues there. We've moved our pilot development facility from Evans Head in northern New South Wales, where we started up 12 years ago, to Brisbane. So we've got our primary pilot facility and R&D facility there. We're actually making sales from our facility into the wastewater treatment market, in electroplating, and even in electrochemical electrodialysis processes for water treatment. We actually have initial equipment installed and sold into the US, and we're working on some bigger stuff there at the moment. So where we're at now is we're actually, as part of our reverse takeover strategy, we're into due diligence. So we're doing a seed capital raise. We're expecting to be listed back in August. And I guess in the 5 years that we've since we've been here, we've gone from a market cap of $3 million up to $11 million at the moment at our last capital raise, and our target is $16 million for when we relist. We will be doing a larger capital raise at the time, but we're into that process. We've got a strategic shell company that we're taking over, where we do get some synergies. So that's really where we're up to in terms of an update.
I'm assuming the Shell's ASX listed, and is it announced yet?
Yes, it's listed. No, it's not announced.
Okay, that's fine. I don't really have any other questions, really, to be honest. I spoke to you well before. I think when those numbers come out on the listing, if the shareholders agree, we'll have a look at it at that stage.
The initial hydrochloric acid plant is looking like a $600,000 plant this year, with in Australia, with a focus towards a $10 million plant next year. That's just in Australia. So we see Australia as the test market, but this company has a larger business. We have a couple of guys working for us in the US. So in terms of projections, the oil and gas downturn has probably pushed our timeframes out, but we are looking at, in the short term, direct relationships with the potential for $100 million in sales of process equipment in the next 12 months. In the next 3 years.
Can you talk a bit more
Certainly. We've spent a bit of time in the US. We were lucky enough to go and visit GE and be invited to their Innovation Day. So we've been on GE's radar for a while in their water and process technology. The companies that we're working with, and I probably should have expanded on that in terms of the projections. The companies that we're working with in the US and our first sales is a project backed by Chevron. The other strategic partner that we have is ConocoPhillips over there, as well as a range of government and non-profit organisations looking particularly at water recovery from difficult sources in California. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Adam.